They're all been kind of crappy. I got to be honest.
I've got so many of them, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Honestly, I don't go to a whole lot of them because, first of all, I have a litter of children.
Yes, well, I used to go to a lot more before I had the litter as well. So
and I'm very animated.
You're passionate.
I yell at the TV. I break remotes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Do you remember where you were at when Pujols hit the home run?
We were and that's probably one of the worst experiences ever. I was in a bar, and that's the last time I've watched a game in a bar. As soon as that inning started playing out, my cousin and I looked at each other. We're like, "Let's go." We knew that it was coming before it came. He hit the homer. I looked at him like, "Let's go."
I was in my garage by myself with a house full of people inside watching it. I was listening to it on the radio, and I literally just put my hand between my
yeah. It was not good.
Welcome, everybody. This is Baseball Chatter with Dynasty Wise. I am Chad White. To my left is Spike.
Hello.
Just gave the shooter a Gavin there. This is the first episode where we are going to get the chance to talk some baseball here at Dynasty Wise, and I am pumped because baseball is my passion. I think Spike can say the same.
Yes.
Yes.
I concur, sir.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands. We were just kind of talking before we went live here. Best game you ever been to in person, and it kind of led into the whole worst moment ever. And the Pujols home run, I think, is hands down.
Hands down, not even close.
That was the shattering moment as a younger Astros fan, for sure.
Which led to, honestly, that changed the course of everything. That made Roy Oswalt pitch Game 6.
Yep.
And that ruined the whole rotation.
Yep.
And I think it ruined everything.
And it affected Brad Lidge, too. I don't care what you want to say. That guy can never face Pujols again without that haunting.
And what sucks is that he went somewhere else and went perfect, won the title.
Yeah.
And it was
where he didn't have to face Pujols.
Very, very good.
But let's kind of get into some current baseball here. Playoffs are a week away. Astros looking to defend their World Series title. Rolling in, how do you feel about their chances kind of heading into
they're the team to beat, baby.
Even still, I understand they've got the pennant, but Boston with the 105 wins right now, and Oakland's got some momentum.
I'm honestly more scared to face Oakland than any of the other ones.
I
don't know what it is
because they're hot, and the hot team going to the playoffs is always dangerous.
That's exactly right.
The Indians did it 2 years ago. They rode that into this, and as well as the Cubs. Cubs were hot going into that postseason. They ended up playing in the World Series. Astros had all the momentum in the world last year. Same with the Dodgers. And right now, it's kind of, to me, Atlanta and Milwaukee in the American League or in the National League, and Oakland's got ton of momentum going in the American League right now.
Right now, you have to go into Yankee Stadium. It doesn't matter, regardless how well they play the Astros or anything, how hot you are. You still have to go into Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, and the Twins did it last year, kind of hot, and that's
a whole nother monkey altogether.
Boston, 105 wins, franchise record. This team's loaded.
Absolutely.
What do you think is going to take to stop this team from going all the way?
You just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, we have the best rotation, the best bullpen in baseball.
Second best rotation, sorry.
No. Cleveland fan, calm down. So I get it, but right now, like I said, we're the team to beat because they've proven time and again with their backs against the wall they can do what they need to do to win. And until they're dethroned, I don't care how many wins Boston has. I don't care how great the lineup for the Yankees are. Until they can beat us and prove that they can beat us, we're the team to beat.
And I really can't disagree with you on that because defending champs it's saying something, especially when postseason rolls around.
Yeah.
And you have the main core that you did. From
absolutely.
Last year.
Well, minus Correa.
I was about to say Correa though. This guy batting under 250.
Oh yeah. And I honestly don't know if it's worse with him in or out because you can't sit Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when he's out, you have Margot that's coming around and he can slide in anywhere. And you can put Bregman, who's one of the most underrated players in the game right now. You could slide him over to short.
Yeah, he's playing shortstop today actually. He and JD Davis at third.
Exactly.
But by doing that, does that take Morwin out of a position you might need him more at? Maybe in the outfield or.
I think our outfield is good. I mean, you have Kemp for depth, who I really like.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got enough
on
depth
fire.
in the outfield. So, I mean, Reddick is honestly, besides defensive purposes, kind of maybe the odd man out there. So,
Yeah, I mean, he hit a home run today. You know, his 16th of the year, I believe. McCann, Gaddis. There really isn't any parts of that lineup where you can just say, I'm just going to pitch to this guy.
No.
Tyler White's been hot.
that's what makes them the team to beat.
Except for Correa right now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that he'll honestly they need to shut him down if his back is as bad as they say it is, because I mean, I believe that we at least have another 2 to 3 year window. You don't mess around with someone's back. I mean, this is something that could be debilitating throughout the rest of his career if they keep messing around with it.
C.J.J. Waddle. Us in Houston
Yeah.
know perfectly well how messing with the back can mess with somebody's career. So their rotation. Charlie Morton came out of the game the other day. You never know.
Would they start talking shoulder? That's scary.
Yeah. So, you don't know how he's going to be going into the playoffs. McCullers is working his way back right now. Looks like you're going to get him out of the bullpen, where that's a topic I want to hit on in a minute, McCullers in the bullpen. But so you're basically looking at your rotation of Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, and, after that, it's Keuchel, who's you never know which one you're going to get.
That's true, but at the same time, I mean, if Keuchel is your third pitcher, I'm okay with that. I honestly, at this point in time, with the way that Morton and McCullers were last year, and have them in the bullpen.
If they're healthy, I mean,
If they're
McCullers is
healthy.
fighting back. Morton right now, you're not telling. So, you're missing them two guys in the bullpen in the
Yeah.
postseason. Then what are you at in the bullpen? You've been pretty solid most of the year. I mean, they've had their moments where they weren't that great. They got rid of the cancer and Giles, and
Yes.
Who
Who apparently blames us.
Yes, no,
I saw that article, and I'm thinking to myself,
And
okay.
AJ Hinch even was commenting on it at pregame today about how he was saying stuff about the culture here and whatnot. And
What?
AJ Hinch is like,
Friendly?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you're
Interesting.
pitching better in Toronto where there's no pressure, no, just go out there and throw. As in Houston, where they were a championship culture, other teams tried to emulate what they had here. So that guy, not really
it's
sure
loser
what happened
talk,
here. Yeah, not sure
honestly.
what happened to him here,
Yeah.
but I'm sure they're not too
Well,
sad seeing
let
him
him
gone.
let him go to Toronto. That's fine.
Yeah. McCullers, I kind of want to hit on him. From the day he was drafted, I looked at this guy as a closer.
I agree 100%.
I didn't think he had the makeup to be a 6-7 inning guy for an entire year, and he's proven out to be that both the last 2 years. He's had to shut it down early, but in the opportunity in the playoffs last year, I think he proved exactly why he could make a lights out closer for years to come. The guy's nasty, he's filthy when he can just go out there and throw.
And that's
not
what
hold
the
back.
scouting report was when he was in the minors. It was like they were like future, closer, and he's definitely got the stuff for it. Whenever you don't have to worry about pitching 6-7 innings, even though he never gets there anyways, he has the stuff to be a dominant closer. I mean, his stuff is filthy, and I think if he could just harness that and just tell him, look, you're going to come back and you can be an elite closer, because that's what we need. I mean, Osuna, he's been really good, but I don't see him the long-term solution. If you can get a homegrown guy to step up and be your closer,
For sure. I mean, they brought in Osuna. They have some control over him for the next. I think it's this year and into next year. And before his suspension, I mean, the guy's only 23. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Before his suspension, he was lights out.
but that's
But-
still on delay, so you never know what's going to come to light. If he's found guilty, he's got to go.
Yeah, and I think they didn't bring him in to be their closer of the future. I think they brought him in to help make this playoff push, and he's a guy that they can still have investment in
Yeah.
next year, not just at the end of the season.
Trading
he's
headache
gone.
for a headache.
Basically. And Tony Sipp, everybody's kind of been up and down on Tony Sipp.
Because he's an up-and-down player.
Yes, and he is, but when he's up, he's been a really, really big
Oh, yeah.
piece to this Astros bullpen, especially being that left-handed pitcher. The only one they pretty much carry most of the time.
Well, yeah, and the problem was he was a left-hand specialist that didn't get lefties out.
Yeah.
And you had right-handers that were getting lefties out better than he was, and that's what drove me crazy when they would pull the right-hander to bringing Tony Sipp, and all he does is you pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah, he was more the guy you just, you needed an inning out of a guy. He'll go in there left or right and just let him pitch to the guys. He was like that in Cleveland before he came to Houston. Kind of the same with Joe Smith. Joe Smith was that one inning guy, just throw him out there.
I'm for what we're paying him. I'm not high on that dude whatsoever.
Joe Smith?
Yeah, he's mediocre. He's up and down, but you're paying him like an elite reliever, and I have an issue with that.
Well, but that's that was the market on him. He had a solid year last year. Kind of elevated his stock, and I mean, you're gonna have to sign guys like that every now and then.
No,
it's gonna be hit and miss. But,
agreed.
But he has been quality though. I mean, he hasn't been, a Giles or gas can out
Which
there.
is good. Yes.
Yes. So let's move on to kind of a couple other teams. We'll hit on the Indians real quick. Indians are your likely first-round matchup for the Astros, and if anybody can speak to the Indians in Houston, it's going to be me. I'm a lifelong Indians fan. I followed the Astros since I was a kid, but I used to spend summers in Ohio going to Old Cleveland Municipal with my grandfather and uncles and neighbors and whatnot, and grew up in that mid-'90s. Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, Albert Bell. Their couple years, Marlins and Braves in the World Series, and that's the team I just fell in love with as a kid. So I am a diehard Indians fan, but I've been going to Astros games my entire life. I hadn't missed an opening day since Minute Maid Open, Biggio's 3,000 hit game. I was at Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit's all first games here. Saw Randy Johnson, Kevin Brown pitch against each other in the Dome. So I got extensive background for both teams here.
I got a couple comments coming in. Of course, Diana, Boo Tribe.
Yeah, whatever.
She's coming in hard, but
and then we got one right after her saying,
that's from Don Dicker. Love our tribe.
Gotta love the tribe. See, we got the tribe supporters out there. Don't hate. So going into the series, Indians got first time ever 4 guys on a pitching staff with 200 strikeouts. They got some guys who can go out there, throw some heat, and get some guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, short of Kluber and Carrasco both just falling apart against the Yankees late in that series, that's who the Astros would have been playing going into there. Now they get their chance this year. Indians' bats are hot.
They're a scary team.
Donaldson looks like he's going to be able to contribute in a little way. He went deep the other night. They're added to their bullpen, trade for Hand and Simber from San Diego. So going into the All-Star break, they were 10 games behind the Astros. I want to say they're right even with that right now. So they've kind of been playing pace, neck and neck with the Astros since the All-Star break. The Astros pitching against the Indians hitting, Astros hitting against the Indians pitching.
They match up very well.
It is. I'm very excited for this series. I think the Indians' bullpen is a little bit better. I think Kluber can go toe-to-toe with Verlander. I think Carrasco can go toe-to-toe with Cole. It's what do we have after that? Trevor Bauer, Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber's potentially Rookie of the Year. Probably not going to get it. Came on a little late, but as far as pitchers go, he's right there.
I think it's going to be a good series.
I do.
I think it's going to be really good, and I think by the end of it, a lot of Houstonians are going to know a lot about the Indians, to be honest. I mean,
and I think either one of these teams can take out Boston. I really do. Indians played them well during the season.
Houston
Astros played them well during the season. So, and the Indians lost to the bad teams and beat the good teams. That kind of blew my mind this year. They're in the worst division.
Yeah.
But they beat up on the Yankees and the Red Sox, and they went. I want to say almost split with the Astros. I think the Astros might have won one more. I think it was 5-4. And then that lineup, Lindor and Ramirez both going to be top 5, top 10 MVP race guys.
Lindor's one of the most underrated players, hands down.
He came out in that same draft as Carlos Correa, and to this point in his career, he's better than Carlos Correa. To this point in his career, his numbers.
Why are you going to make me admit that that's true?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
well, numbers don't lie. He's a better defender, and he's been healthy, and all he's done is produce.
Yes, and he's been a leader on that team.
We got a question coming in. Do you think Carlos Correa will come back to MVP form?
If they if they don't go in and try to overdo him before he's ready.
Not this year.
Yeah, not this
Not
year.
this year. It would. I would be shocked if he's anywhere near at his highest level during the postseason, and that's why you need to seriously think about shutting him down.
Is he capable of coming up with a clutch hit in the playoffs? For sure. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, he could step up to the plate and go, 2 homers in a game and just play.
He can do what Springer
solid
did
defense.
in the World Series.
Yes.
Easily.
100%.
The talent is there, but when your back is everything. And when you're trying to swing, I mean, I'd imagine swinging and missing, doing everything. If it hurts, I mean, you're not yourself.
Yeah, and just for personal observation, we were at the game last week, Monday. It was against the Mariners where Vogelbach hit the 4-run home or the grand slam in the 8th. And I noticed in that game, there's some ground balls that it didn't seem like that was. Like, why aren't you going and getting that ball? And maybe it is the back. He's not going to dive out, lay out on the plays that you're just used to seeing guys of that caliber make. Yes, he's young. He's got a good career ahead of him as long as that back problem doesn't linger. But you never know.
And that's why you shut him down. This team has enough depth. Don't mortgage your future because you have Carlos Correa. I mean, you've got to think about him down the line.
And even a week is a week. I mean, that's especially come playoffs. They're playing all out. It's not just another game in the middle of the season, game number 90 in Oakland. It's do or die. It's you give it everything you got. And I mean, you saw how the Astros played last year in the postseason. They were like kids out there. Sliding, diving for everything.
And that's what I love is they still do that.
Yeah.
They still do that, like just little kids playing a game that they love, and that's why they're, in my opinion, their team to beat.
And I mean, not to bring it, Cleveland is a lot like them in that they're a youthful team. They have fun playing together. It was like the Royals were a couple of years ago, and you got to have that, And I'm excited for this series. I'm definitely going to be at one of the games. That's for sure.
Follow-up question: then who plays shortstop?
Who should play shortstop?
No, well, then who would play? So then who plays shortstop in his place? Bregman?
Bregman is a natural shortstop, but you have Marwin Gonzalez that can slide over there and play. Dude's got a cannon for an arm. He's good enough with his glove. He's not going to kill you, and he's going to hit better than Correa is because he's healthy. I mean, I would go with that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, Marwin is there. Bregman's there. In an emergency, I mean, in an emergency, Gurriel can play anywhere in the infield.
Yeah.
Gurriel, he can play outfield, infield, wherever. They've got depth in the other positions where they can cover for these guys. J.D. Davis and Tyler White can play first or third. White can play second. Kemp can play second. You got plenty of guys in the outfield. Gaddis, catcher, outfield, DH, whatever. So they're a very versatile team. So it's really not, essential that one guy takes his place. They can rotate whoever's the hot hand right there. MVP. Bregman is probably the Astros' top guy as far as having a shot at the MVP. Make his case for me.
Too little, too late. I mean, the numbers are there, but I think that he started this push too late. I mean, had he done this, there was a chunk where he wasn't producing, and then he went on that tear to where he has the numbers he does now. But it's just you're not going to catch Mookie Betts, and you're not going to catch JD Martinez. I mean, just honestly, you're already fighting the East Coast bias.
Yeah. That
every Yankee and every
well,
Boston fan.
Do you think Martinez and Betts split votes with each other to where that kind of takes one of them out of the running?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Because even as outsiders, like right now, you say Betts, I say Martinez. When it comes to those two,
I honestly, JD Martinez is putting up numbers, and that's what the people, the casual fan is going to look at: 41 homers, 124 RBIs. I mean, that's what people are going to see, and they're going to fall in love with the 329.
Yeah, all while batting 329.
Yeah, and OPS over 1,000. But Mookie Betts does almost all of that with outstanding defense.
Yeah, Mookie Betts. The only thing that's keeping JD Martinez from the Triple Crown is his teammate Mookie Betts, with a higher batting average, not by a lot.
Yeah.
the two of them in that lineup with, even Xander Bogaerts in there, it's a scary lineup.
It is. It's a very good lineup,
and it's a youthful lineup too.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hit on them too with Bregman. To me, the guy he's the Mickey Mantle of our generation, Mike Trout. It's
one of the best players I've ever seen.
I don't think I can say
Period.
he is the best player I've ever.
Yeah.
Griffey is probably right up there with him.
Griffey, that's always going to be one of my favorite players of all time. Just natural ability. He's got that it factor.
And fun to watch, yeah.
Yeah, and I hate it because he's an angel, and you're just watching this guy kill your team constantly. But you want to sit back as a baseball fan and enjoy someone that is playing at that level and has since he came in the league. But at the same time, he's doing it at your expense
and has fun the whole time. Like the guy, when you see him play, he's out there smiling,
humble,
and having fun. I mean,
you can tell.
Never in trouble. I was going to say, is there a question? I mean, the question that is watching him play make you enjoy the game?
If it doesn't, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
with it.
he's like Altuve.
Yes.
They're that happiness that they bring, even when they're talking to everyone as you watch them on a base. They're chatting it up and they're having a good time. It's not forced. They're out there having a good time, and that's honestly, I've got a buddy who's a huge Angels fan. And I was like, you need to get him off of your team. The Angels are trash, and you're wasting that. You're wasting that ability just so you can say you have the greatest player, and you're going to pay him a whole lot of money. But what does it matter if you're not going to put talent around him?
Yeah, well, it's like an Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks never won the World Series, never went to a World Series. The guy's one of the greatest hitters ever to play, and just years in Chicago, just doing nothing. With that being said, it's Mike Trout's going to be a top 3 vote getter if he wins it. Great.
Every year
he deserves it. Whatever.
But you can make that case every single year because all he does is produce constantly. So I mean, he could win just like LeBron in basketball.
Yeah,
you can make a case every single year, but you can't give the trophy to the dude every year.
Yeah, just because he's as great as he is.
Yeah,
and then the last one, Jose Ramirez on the Indians. Him and Lindor. Ramirez's numbers. He was 3rd in MVP voting last year. A lot of people don't know that. Jose Ramirez started developing into the player he is last year.
Now, he's a monster.
Yes.
I mean he absolutely is a monster. I mean you look at his numbers and they absolutely match up with
his batting average dropped a little bit here in the later half of the season, but this guy went from 3rd base to 2nd base to bring in another, one of the greats in the game today who's kind of been hurt, Josh Donaldson. But MVPs have that ability. Hey, I don't care.
Agreed.
Throw me out there. Put me wherever you need me to play.
He plays for Cleveland, and that's going to be a downfall. You've got to put up monster numbers to overcome that.
Well, it maybe. Kluber's won a Cy Young there. It's not as if they don't get the voters and they don't get seen. It's right now he's just the wrong year to be having the numbers he's having the way Martinez and Betts and Trout are playing.
That's fair.
Questions coming in. I got we'll go to this one first. Chad, who is your favorite player of all time?
Jim Thome, 100%. From the time the guy came up, he probably outside of Griffey, probably one of the just most dangerous left-handed swingers I've seen. I mean, a lot of people don't know. At one point, this guy was 6th all time in home runs. When you think of top 10 home run people and somebody says Jim Thome, you're like, have to kind of look. No, I mean, this guy
one of the most underrated hitters ever.
Because you never heard anything from him. He was quiet. He went out there. He did his business. The Cleveland community loved him. Philadelphia community loved him.
Like
Chicago, Baltimore, everywhere he went, people loved him. Minnesota,
no baggage,
none.
Yeah,
none. And you never heard his name linked to steroids. Not once.
Yeah, and I can't argue. Well, he was big boy.
Yeah, he was just naturally just big corn-fed Iowa boy.
Spike, same question.
Craig Biggio. I'm of course a Houston fan, but just the way he played the game, no matter where it was, from when they moved him to catcher to second base to center field, did whatever he had to do because that's what the team needed, and all he did was produce. He'd lean into one if you needed him to.
If you needed him to. The guy wore the monster elbow pad just because.
I mean, in all honesty, when he got his 3,000th hit, I teared up. I mean, it was just.
I was there.
Yeah.
I can literally. It's not one of these. It's not one of these like, oh yeah, no. I was. That's awesome. I used to work with this guy, Mike Broussard, They just came back into town. We had bought tickets for that whole homestand because we were going to make
Yeah,
sure we were there.
that's awesome.
And got to that game thinking, okay, no big deal. He's not going to get it tonight. And then, it's 2 hits and it's 3
Yeah.
hits. And we were looking at each other like, dude, this is about to happen, man.
Yeah.
This is about to happen. And, as soon as it just blew
I was about to say the
up
buzz.
inside that stadium.
The buzz, I can imagine,
How
man.
can
Look
you
at
not?
goosebumps.
How can you not love the game?
Yeah.
You
we
know?
were section 105. I think we were about 14, 15 rows up, right on the aisle. I'm still
That's awesome.
remember where I was at in that stadium.
That's why I love sports right there.
Yeah.
I had another question in. How do you feel about the shift? I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me say. How do you feel about the shift?
In quotation marks.
Yes, there's quotations there.
I think it's figurative of what's happening to the game of baseball in terms of hitting.
Analytics. It works, or they wouldn't be doing it.
Well, it works, but it also shows me how the players and a lot of people. Okay, I'm dating myself here. Tony Gwynn would never get beat by a shift.
You know
that
why?
guy with
'Cause
that
he'd hit it down-
500
Yeah.
with a shift.
Oh,
playing on
he
him.
did more than that. The dude would never get out.
And not only Tony Gwynn, it just Cal Ripken, George
Yeah.
Brett. The fact that these guys nowadays, and even some of your best hitters in baseball, are getting shifts put on them, to me is an atrocity.
That's because
Learn
everyone
to hit
has
the ball.
fallen in love with the long ball
Yes.
so much that their swings are all pull now.
And I can't stand it.
They don't know how to
can't
go
stand
the
it.
other way.
And
Tony
it
Gwynn would never
starts at
get
the
out
bottom.
because he did that anyways. He could put the ball where he wanted to. You were to shift over, he would just hit it down. He'd
Yeah,
get doubles
he
every
approached
time.
each at bat as like, okay, where are you going to play me, and
Yeah.
where can I put it, and that's where I'm going to. I'm not trying to hit
But
a
that's
home
why
run
he's
right
also the
here.
greatest hitter of all time.
100%. But yes, as far as the shift goes, the fact that you can have nine players on a field, 8 of them on one side of the bag, and a gentleman named Joey Gallo can't even hit it to the left side of the field. When
To be fair,
one
he can't
player's
hit it
over
to the
there.
right side of the
True
field
that.
either.
Well, he can hit it out of the park.
Oh, that's
but-
it. He has 50 hits a season. 40 of them are going to be home runs.
But yeah,
that does not impress me.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
That's an indictment on where the game is going. But I can tell you're kind of a purist, and that's cool.
100%.
I would rather have a guy that hits a homer if needed. It has that ability, but
Yes.
I would rather have a guy hitting 340 all year long because he's going to put the ball in play. If you have enough guys on base, he's going to be driving in runs just as much.
Yeah, and to me, Jose Altuve was a perfect example of that last year.
Yeah.
The guy can go out and get you 27, 30 home runs, and
Mm-hmm.
he's shown it. He knows it. He doesn't have to. He's going to go out and bat 350, 360,
Yeah.
Get 40 doubles, 50 doubles, and
But he
drive
knows
in
how to
80
put
runs.
the bat on the ball.
100%.
I mean, and he hits bad pitches like I haven't seen since Vlad. I mean, just swinging
God.
at stuff. That's,
Talk about one of my other favorites
Yeah,
of all
I
time.
always loved Vladimir
My God, how that
Guerrero.
guy could take a ball an inch off the
Yeah.
ground and put it opposite field, into the
Well,
stands.
and that's why his offspring is about to light it up.
Yes.
So, but
I'm
that's,
so pumped to see Vlad
yeah.
Jr.
Oh yeah,
For sure. Yeah, but Vlad's definitely another one of my all-time favorites.
The shift question went over to Chad, so I'm gonna go to Spike on this one. Chad, how many games will it take the Astros to beat the Indians? That came off the boards. That's for you, Spike. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, how many games?
You think? Oh, yeah.
It's a 5-game series, so
Yes.
it's going to take 3 wins.
No.
No,
I'm
but
not
like,
saying how many.
is it gonna be 3
Oh,
games?
dude, I think this is going to go the distance. I honestly, this matchup scares me quite a bit, just because we were talking about they match up so well with one another, and when you have teams that mirror each other, I mean that's where it really comes in. Because whenever you have teams that rely on the long ball or something like that, you can get shut down. But all of your guys in your rotation can absolutely shut any lineup down any given day.
I had another question, Chad, and I'll let you follow up on that one. We had a question coming in from Tom. Tom, thanks for checking in, buddy. But it's a National League MVP.
It should be Christian Yelich, in my opinion.
He was the acquisition of the offseason.
The guy hit for the cycle twice this year.
Yeah. And
but,
thank God he's not wasting away in Miami anymore.
Yes, 100%. And Milwaukee, I like that Milwaukee team. Good, young, talented, trying to build it right. Still, I think there's still some pitching short of being able to do it. But I could say the same thing about the Braves, and what they've been doing this year is just out of
They
nowhere.
had a schedule.
Acuna and Albies are legit, and how many rookie pitchers have they thrown out there? Like 6, I think.
No,
It's crazy.
honestly, I'm happy we're not in the National League Central anymore because that whole division, they're all over 500. I mean, they're just beating the hell out of each other
Yeah.
constantly. They're all good teams, and that's it. I'm kind of happy we are in the division we're in.
Yeah, but as far as MVP goes, I mean, you got Yelich out there, you got Freddie Freeman, Rizzo, whoever, Baez in Chicago, or we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I had another question coming in from Jeff. Do you guys think the A's have what it takes to catch up to the Stros?
I
No,
I
not-
don't.
I think
I
they're
don't
running
think so.
out of time.
Yeah, I think that they're running out of time. Honestly, with 3 games is our magic number, I believe, and that's if we hold on tonight. It goes down to 2. We're on the road which is strange as hell, but we just have been crushing. Usually it's flipped. You're better at home, but I mean they're going to go down with probably one of the best road records ever. So I mean I just don't see us losing that many games in a row on the road. Personally.
And can Bregman hit a Justin Zeller's slur?
Justin Zeller slurve is meat, so probably. No, I'm just kidding on that. Of course he could. For those of you who don't know, Justin's an old high school buddy of mine who played.
Nice.
But I have to say, his brother Josh had one of the nastiest curveballs I've ever seen in my life. It's what made me understand I could never play baseball on the next level. That's how good of a curve it was.
That's why we're sitting back watching
Yes.
these guys in awe because they're doing something we never could.
No.
And then we're going to rope it back in. Chad, you can get a chance to answer on the Indians-Astros series.
So what was the question again? How many?
How many games would it take the Astros to beat the Indians?
7. Unfortunately, they don't have 7, so they're not gonna beat them.
You don't think so? Do you think on that matchup? I know you guys talked about the bullpens and the hitting and all that. Do y'all think that's going to be more offense, or do you think it's going to come down to pitching?
I think it's going to be pitching. I think runs are going to be at a premium.
I think it's going to be the starters are going to dominate, and whoever's bullpens can hold up.
Yeah, and that's what scares me. They match up so well with us, and I hate it. I don't want us to lose. It would suck to lose in the first round, but I mean,
think for me it's the situation is if the Indians are set up early in the series to go back to Cleveland and not have to pitch Kluber in Game 4, or in a situation they've got 4 or 5 deep to where if they have a lead and go home, they can have Kluber on the mound in Game 5 if necessary. To pitch down here, whereas the Astros, I don't think that have that 4th guy where they're confident that he's going to go out and get that win that Houston or that Cleveland does.
No, yeah, I have to agree.
No,
I mean,
that's not saying anything. I mean, they can throw Cole or Verlander in Game 5 and be okay. I'm just saying I'm
not a huge fan on the short rest. I mean, Verlander's an older guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that with the competitor he is, he's going to give you 110 every time. But rest your guys. I mean, our rotation is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
We have enough good quality longer levers. If pull the guy. If your starter looks like he's getting into trouble, you cannot fall behind these guys. Put in one of your. Colin McHugh was a starter. All the dudes have done is produce this year.
Yeah.
We have guys. If McCullers is back, hopefully he will be. That's a starter. There's 2-3 innings right there of quality baseball. Don't get married to your starting pitching because they have a name. Just get them out of there and do what you have to do.
Yeah, and if the Astros win the series, I mean, nobody's going to eat crow more than me. But I'm okay with that.
I hope so.
I love watching this Astros team play. I'm more than happy to go watch them go win another World Series. I hate that it would go through Cleveland, but at the same time, I'm glad that if they do, it's got to go through Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't really lose either way in this.
If we were to lose, I would be a Cleveland fan just because I know y'all have a very strong fan base no matter the sport, and y'all have been through more shit than it's been horrible the crap y'all have had to go through.
Well, and
I can make my peace with that.
With the Cubs winning a couple of years, now the Indians have the longest streak without winning one, and I mean they've been to it a couple of times now and had their chances.
Cubs win.
Yeah,
trust me, I was actually cheering for Cleveland because I hate the Cubs.
Man, that was a tough one too because it was such a good series and just
it's because you had it. You could smell it, and that's
right
the
there.
worst. That was what we were talking about, the Pujols home run. You see the victory, and you're like, all right, let's just. As soon as you start thinking, and you're like, wait a minute, oh damn, here we go.
And it's sad. Like the Astros went to the World Series the next year. But nobody, that wasn't even, that loss, the 4-game sweep wasn't near as heartbreaking as that Pujols homework, because that was the team.
Yeah.
That was the team that was going to do it.
Yes, and it sucked. But
Yeah.
it happens.
It does.
I had to shave my legs because the Astros lost the series, that World Series against
Really?
the Sox. Oh yeah, I had to shave a part of my leg every time they lost a game, and when they lost it,
That's horrible.
I was hairless for about 3 weeks.
So you're lucky that they lost the series in the games, because that way you had an excuse to shave your legs.
Yeah,
instead of
there you
just
go.
doing
That's
it
exactly. I was
regularly.
just looking for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I figured. Rangers got rid of Bannister already. Looking to move in a new direction, even though the guy just won Manager of the Year a couple years ago. And
They're making him a
what do you think?
scapegoat.
What do you think about what's going on in Texas right now?
I have a lot of friends that are Rangers fans, and I feel for them because I mean they went to 2 World Series in a row. I mean they back when they
They lost the Cardinals and
yeah.
the Giants. From
so I mean they just don't have the talent, and to take a good manager and fire him because of lack of talent, that just to me that's short-sighted. You can't blame a manager if he doesn't have he can be making all the right moves, but if you don't have the people to come through, how is that his fault?
So what do you see happening in wake of this?
I think they're
with
going to
the
suck
team?
for another 5 years.
Beltre done there. This is
And
last year?
it sucks. I'm a huge Beltre
Yeah.
fan. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the game. All he's done is produce from day one, and
He's
just
one of those guys that you go out. He's like the Altuve's too.
yeah,
Smile on his
exactly.
face and fun
Unless
to watch.
people are trying to touch top of his head, he really doesn't seem to like that much. But yeah, he's a great player. I mean, and he's been nothing but a class act from the beginning. And it sucks it's going to go out on that note. But he just honestly kind of needs to retire.
Yeah, it's another one of those. Got to 3,000 hits.
Yeah, he has nothing more to prove.
No.
Nothing more to
No,
prove.
and he's definitely not going to do anything in Texas. So Bannister's out. Does Hinch get manager of the year again this year, or I mean, is it going to go to
No.
a Bob Melvin out in Oakland, or
Oh, I'd give it to Bob Melvin, hands down. Hinch is an analytics guy, and I think he's a good, not great coach. My issue with him is always going to be standing up for his players, and that's where there's so many times where you see your guys getting rattled, getting squeezed, and he's just sitting there in the same. I always say you could get a cardboard cutout
Of him in the
and
dugout and
just
just
move
sit
it,
there.
and you're like, there he is
spit a
every
seed
time.
every now and then? And
Yeah, and it's just him just sitting there. And that, to me, I think that he could have his players back a little more. But I think he's a good, not great coach. I think he lucked into the team that he has right now, just the amount of talent that they have. I mean, I think I could coach his team to 100 wins, to be
Well,
honest with you.
You would hope. Like
It's-
the talent does come. Now there is the things like pitching changes and getting guys proper rest and
I think
dealing
Brett-
with ups and downs. But,
Brett Strom doesn't get nearly enough credit. Dude is a great pitching coach.
well, and that was going to kind of lead me to the other guy, Alex Cora. Is,
Oh, yeah.
that was his bench coach last
Yeah.
year, and look what he. I mean,
Look what he's doing.
yeah, he's got the team in Boston,
Yeah.
but you're talking about a franchise record wins
Yeah.
with their next win, and this is Boston. This isn't the Marlins or
Oh, yeah, it's
team
hard.
that's
I would
been around
imagine.
forever.
Yeah, where they
So-
will boo you off the field in a heartbeat.
As much as Bob Melvin might deserve it, I just see
you just have
Cora
to give
getting it this year.
I think he will get it because it's Boston. I think that Bob Melvin should get it because that Oakland team has been dominant. He's making all the right moves there. They have gelled as a team, and they have vastly overdone what anyone thought they were going to
Well,
do.
and then kind of on that, Girardi gets fired after making the playoffs, same as Farrell did in Boston, but in comes Aaron Boone. He's got all these youngsters on this team, and here they are again. If it wasn't for Boston, best record in the American League.
Well, yeah, and it's hard. I understand that. Then Joe Girardi was a great coach, but I think it was time for a change just because of culture.
Oh, of course. I
You
mean,
know, and
the way that team was getting younger, it was his time
Yeah,
out, and
exactly.
he's going to be coaching somewhere next year.
We had a good question come in from for fantasy baseball. Is there a basic overview thing that you look for in players for fantasy baseball?
When it comes to baseball and fantasy, there's different types. There's rotisserie, there's head to head, but when you're looking, a lot of it will have to do with kind of as in football. Is it a quarterback league? Is it a running back league? In baseball, is it a pitcher's league? Is it a hitter's league? When it comes to hitters, you want versatility. You want guys that are going to get you, stolen bases, batting average, home runs, doubles, depending on how you're scoring it. But you want guys that can do a little bit of everything. Going into this year, your Trouts, your Harpers, your Jose Ramirez, Lindors, Correa, Altuve. These are your top guys because they're guys that do a little bit of everything. They can run. They get the assists in the field. And when it comes to your pitchers, you need kind of a little bit of diversity in your pitching. You need pitchers who can get you strikeouts. You need pitchers who can get you innings, wins, quality starts. But then you've got to be able to throw in your bullpen guys. Just because you get saves isn't always the big thing. You want bullpen guys that can strike out guys, get extra innings of work. So you're racking up the numbers. So it really just kind of depends on your league. But to me, the first thing you want to look for is versatility.
I like multiple positions.
Yes, a guy who can play first and third and outfield or short and second.
I always liked it if you could find a good solid hitter that had second base or shortstop because they're at a premium and you can plug them in.
And you can find about a lot of left fielders and right fielders and first basemen. You need to find that shortstop who can hit for power and has speed. And you need that catcher who bats for average, has a little bit of power. Catcher's a big thing in fantasy because there's only, there's only 10 at max at the top, and there's only one on the field. Third base, first base kind of go hand in hand, short and second. You got that utility role, but when it comes to catcher, you can either be a defensive catcher or a hitting catcher. Do you have both? And do you hit for average or power? Very few guys at the cream of the crop of catchers. So
yes, absolutely.
I just had Diana scream Bregman. So I'm assuming he just did something. Yes. I know we know the game's on, but we're trying to we're going to take a quick few seconds to look at everything going on.
We're going to have a quick
guys.
pause to get the score on the game.
And I'll keep talking. I'm actually going to roll into Houston pre-minutes real quick.
Well, I don't see anything yet.
Maybe it hasn't popped up.
4-3.
I think she just really likes Bregman.
That could be it too.
Actually, she's a huge Gaddis fan.
Hey, make sure you guys check us out on Houston pre-minutes coming October 1st. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yes, we're really looking forward to this venture with preeminence coming up. A lot of fantasy football stuff going on. We're going to roll with this baseball stuff going into it. MMA. Really big things.
And After Dark.
After Dark.
Ooh.
Tune in to find out more.
Interesting.
Sorry, guys. Back to y'all.
Yes.
It's 4-3.
4-3, yes.
Yeah. I think she's just a Bregman fan, and I don't blame her.
False alarm. Thank you, Diana.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where were we? Oh, we were talking coaches. Okay, so moving from coaches, let's kind of go to rookies. Cleveland's one case for rookie would be Bieber, like I mentioned earlier. Astros don't really have that guy this year. Yankees, Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, that's probably who's going to end up.
Well, you got the guy at third, Miguel Andujar as well, playing great. They're probably two of your leading candidates. Shohei Ohtani, what can you say about that guy?
I think he came in with a little too much hype. He passes the eyeball test when you watch him play. I mean, he's got great stuff. He's got great stuff, but at the same time, he's trying too much. What worked in Japan isn't going to work here. I mean, there's too much. There's too much he's trying to do, and
at the top of his game, he's dominant.
Yeah,
whether
absolutely.
it's hitting or pitching. I don't
would
think
make
he's
him
going
a
to
hitter, man.
I think he's going to end up just being a full-time hitter when it's all said and done. I mean, he's holding off Tommy John surgery right now.
Because they keep trying to make him a pitcher.
Yes.
And they just need to get that done and over with.
Yes, and I couldn't agree more. That's, to me, it's if Ohtani just sticks to hitting, he's going to be one of the premier hitters in baseball.
Yeah, he's got a huge upside.
Diana did admit that she just likes to jump in and yell Bregman every once in a while.
That's awesome.
I also like her comment that Gaddis is a sexy lumberjack. I concur.
I agree to
many a
that.
time. And 100%. It's funny because you look at me and you see not sexy lumberjack, and then you look at him and it's, why are you with him?
No, it happens, buddy. It happens.
You don't always go for your type. That's for sure.
It happens. Gaddis, it's hard not to like with his backstory. It's hard not to like and cheer for the dude, honestly.
And just, I don't know have you seen the size of the guy? His hands are like the size of my head.
Dude is huge.
I mean, when he grips, and in no batting gloves, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Manly right there.
Yeah.
But the guy's hands are just gigantic. So when he holds that bat, the bat doesn't look nearly as long as it is. But good Lord.
I kind of know the direction it's going to go, but I got to ask it because it popped up. Favorite fight or brawl?
Oh, Robin Ventura, hands down. It doesn't get any better than watching Nolan Ryan beat the hell out of somebody.
I thought, to me, that's not even a brawl. That was a
Thorough ass beating.
what do they call it?
Shellacking.
Yeah,
PDA. That was a PDA.
That was a
for-
bad decision on
for
Robin
fathers
Ventura
and sons, right
If
there.
you
Like,
watch
boys, this
that
is what
again-
happens when
yeah.
you mess with your dad.
But
Boom.
whenever it's like he wanted to, and he was like, his brain that split second, and then on his way there, it's like, this is a bad decision.
Yeah, and Nolan Ryan just casually throws the glove down and is like waiting for him, like, I've got this.
He got halfway there. He's like, well, I'm committed.
yeah, what do you do?
It's like,
Honestly, I would have just turned and ran back first. Like, I was just kidding.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, whoa, that was- it's
I'm
on me?
Sorry, that's a mistake.
that one's on me.
No,
that would have been great if he would have just been like, I got you.
I got-
And just kept
well,
on going.
he's he's in his early 20s. He's thinking, I got this old man right here. This is nothing. Nope, didn't happen. And I've actually got a T-shirt with that on.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's
That's
man,
awesome.
Love it. Outside of that, though, I mean, there's been some great brawls in baseball.
I was always a Kyle Farnsworth fan because I mean, he would hit a guy, and then the dude would just be standing there, and he's running at him. I mean, he wouldn't even wait for them to come at him. He would meet them and then textbook tackle, take them down, and beat the hell out of them.
Mine, I don't even know who it is. I think it was in a Japanese league game or something. This guy just starts running to the mound, all of a sudden
Kick the
throws,
catcher?
and then just straight up, boom, it kicks the catcher like
Yeah.
right. That to me is
that
one
was
of the
good
best.
stuff.
I'll look that up. Y'all go ahead.
Yes, we need the good laugh for that one.
Trust me, and it's one of those things where you just with Farnsworth, I loved it because he was looking, he would peg someone and then kind of look at him waiting, like, are you dumb enough?
Yeah.
Are you dumb enough to come at me?
Well, and what about the whole Piazza Clemens when they were Yankees Mets?
That-
Piazza throws the bat and Clemens hits
But-
it, breaks the bat. Clemens throws it back and just stares him
But
down.
Piazza was always such a classy guy, and he seemed like a nice dude. Clemens was roided out of his mind, so he was looking for any reason to beat the hell out of somebody anyways. So
Yeah, that to me would have been. And then the despicable Pedro throwing Zimmer down.
that really wasn't the best look for Pedro.
No.
That I got to be honest. But then again, if you look at his highlights, he beamed people just for the hell of it, anyways.
It's
So
I miss the days of Bob Gibson throwing high and inside to guys and making it known that this is my plate.
that's what Nolan would do also.
With all the money nowadays, it's kind of ruined that aspect of baseball because.
Yep.
Oh yeah, here we go. We got it pulled up.
What the hell? That is not it.
Oh,
All right, y'all go ahead. That
Yeah,
was,
that was horrible.
yeah, I'm going back, guys. Y'all keep on going. I'll find a good one.
No, that's.
For those of you that
I'm just
missed
saying,
it here.
Just
But-
saying, yeah, go ahead.
But to be fair, I'm not a huge fan of pegging guys anymore. I mean, it's a different game. The average fastball back in the day was like 90.
BS man.
Here we go.
Up.
This
Here
looks
it
like
is.
it.
This is it.
This
Guy just turned around
Boom.
and just kicks the catcher.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yes, that is great.
Just so
But-
y'all know, on YouTube, that's batter super kicks catcher in the face.
Nice.
If you want to look it up. It's great. He stopped him from stopping him. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's-
Yeah.
He knew it was coming.
He had a plan.
Yeah.
I love it.
But see, I'm sorry. I'm against. There's one thing about throwing up at somebody's head or doing, and you can say what intent, this and that. I don't care if you want to talk about unwritten rules. All the PC people nowadays and saying, they need to rewrite bull crap. Baseball is baseball. Get over it. Man up. You do something to my guy, I'm doing something to your guy. You police yourself. We don't need the umpires. We don't need commission. You police yourself. And
That's fair, but
if you
guys
take
are
one to
throwing
the hip,
harder
you
than
ta-
they ever have.
No, Bob Feller threw 100 miles an hour. I don't want to hear it. Bob Gibson threw 100 miles. They are not throwing any faster nowadays than they were. There's a couple guys maybe, but no. For the most part, they're out there. No, I'm sorry. I disagree when it comes to that.
We will agree to disagree.
Yeah, we have to on that one because I am a purist. I'm old school.
Hi, honey.
Wave to your wife. I am. I'm just old school on it.
That's fine. That's fair. But for me, I think that kids are throwing harder. Bob Gibson was Bob Gibson because he could control 100 miles an hour. These dipshits that are coming out now throw 100 and they have no idea where it's going. They're trying to be in a dude, right here. They come up 2 feet.
Well, and here's the thing, though. You come in and you're out of control and hit my guy. My pitcher's going to come out and put one in one of your best players. So it's going to teach you, hey, you better learn to control that or don't throw it.
and to me, now you've created this tit for tat, and some dude who didn't do anything wrong. He knows he's walking up there like, shit, I'm about to get beamed.
You know what?
This is gonna
Part
suck.
of the game. They knew it back
Okay.
then, and it
That's-
worked, and they know it now, and it's,
To me, just if we're gonna go that route, just eject the dude. Just say, all right, dumbass, you're gone.
Well, I mean, but what my aspect of it is, it keeps these guys from going over the plate. It's Biggio with the armor on the arms, and all these guys wearing these pads, and
It's messed up.
That's
messed up.
I'm reading what Clay's saying here.
Oh, you're reading what Clay. I was highlighting Diana's.
Yeah, we hit on that earlier, Clay, and we were laughing at it. He blamed Houston and the culture that we have here, and he felt like he was trapped. I don't know what trapped means. We made you our closer.
I wonder if was he talking about the hurricane and the flooding?
I,
that kept
maybe
him in
maybe
his
that
house?
I don't know. Maybe I mean a dude who punches himself in the face coming off the mound.
He
I mean,
showed
it's
us.
clearly. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, and also Diana wanted to hit Chad with 100, or she asked if we could hit him with 100-mile.
No, you can't. First of all,
Would
now
you take?
I've been
Would you take it for $1,000?
Oh, that's interesting.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000
No,
with armor.
with armor. I mean, if I'm going to take it, I'm going to take
There's
it.
no guarantee. Okay. Okay.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Agreed, Heavy.
Let's put it
Agreed.
this way. I've been hit with pitches upwards of 80. It ain't fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm
sucks.
also getting closer to 40 than I am at 20.
Yeah.
18, 16 when I was.
I
would take
I
a
pulled
pitch
my
like
neck
that.
sneezing the other
Yeah,
day, so yes,
you know,
I understand completely.
The mark that's going to leave nowadays.
Hey, he said he wouldn't do it for 1,000, so let's
We gotta
let's
we
keep
gotta-
going up.
There it is.
We
We're
got-
going to
we
start a
gotta love
GoFundMe.
it.
Yeah, go fund me.
I tell you what, if it gets up to a worthwhile price, I will take an 80 to 90 mile an hour pitch. Because if y'all know somebody who can throw 100, let's have them on. Actually, I probably know a couple guys that can throw 100, so no, let's not go.
I'm
there.
just gonna say I will not do that, so I'm good.
It's got to be, man. It's got to be good. It's gonna have to be worth it. That's for sure.
We'll aim. I'm gonna put on there for the meaty part of the leg. Cool.
My legs are meaty, so I'm
I was
Alright,
about to
so-
say.
as opposed to like the calf or something
or
like
the,
that.
the meat of the back. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go for the.
First of all,
mid-thigh.
it would have to be worth the money. Second of all, I'd have to be able to trust the person throwing it. There's a handful of people that I would probably trust to do that.
They have batting machine or pitching machines that could do that.
Yeah, I don't trust the pitching machine though. Them things don't throw over the same place every time, especially at that speed. But yeah, no.
All right.
$1,000, no.
All right. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. This may get some legs.
Oh, the last time I heard that, it did not end well.
Yeah, no, it's. But hey, like I said, if it's worth it. What does that say?
Diana disagrees. $1,000 is fine.
I like the way she thinks.
Well, yeah, she's thinking it's $1,000 for us. No, if I'm taking something in the leg, that's my money.
Yeah, that's
Fair
not the way it
enough.
works.
Well,
That's not the way it works, buddy.
well, we're not married, so it works that way right this second.
You're not helping your case.
I don't care. I'm the one taking the pitch.
It's fair. That's fair.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
Yeah,
way
that's
to go,
okay.
Pat.
That's okay.
Way to get me in trouble before I go home
I
tonight.
had to see where that was going to go, though.
All right. Well, I think this went pretty well for the first time out. I definitely enjoyed talking some baseball. I hope the one or two people that actually watched us would come back for again and
had a
maybe
few-
recommend it to a couple other people. But
Always boo Titans. Well said, Clayton.
yes, we hate the Titans. We hate all things Tennessee, and I don't hate things. So
Yeah.
the only things
I
I
agree.
hate, actually, the only thing I hate in this life is resides in Dallas and plays 16 Sundays a year, maximum.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Yeah.
That's that we can agree on.
But yeah, when it comes to baseball, I don't have a hatred for anybody. That's for sure. Even the Yankees,
Oof.
you know what?
I don't know.
They're.
I have plenty of hate in my heart. I can spread it around for you.
I don't. Not when it comes to baseball. You know, you can't.
Oh, I love the game. I love the game absolutely, but there are just teams where I just cannot cheer for, and there are teams that I can't cheer
Oh,
against.
no, I'm not saying I can't. I'm
Yeah.
going to cheer for the Yankees by
Yeah.
any means.
Their
but I've
fans are
definitely
some
had
of the most irritating people come
Boston's
across.
right up there with them, and I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboy fan, that takes the cake.
We had a good question coming
Sure.
in from Jeff. Dallas Keuchel. What is he going to stay with the Stros or
No.
No.
I don't see that.
They're not going to pay him
They're not going to pay him what he wants, what he feels that he should be paid.
what he can go get.
Yeah, and there's a crappy team with a lot of money, and to be honest with you, they aren't going to shell out the money. If he's smart, he'll take 10 to 12 with Houston for a few years, and that's what he's worth. I mean, on the open market, he shouldn't be getting any more than that.
I wouldn't offer more than a 2-year contract.
No, absolutely not.
If it's 1 or 2 years, 1 year with an option, whatever. But
No,
if
not
you're
with
gonna go
not with
past
the
2
farm
years, no.
system we have, dude.
No.
Fromber Valdez has come through, and he's shown that we have a lefty that can come out. And
Well, Whiteley
has
too.
been Forrest Whitley's he's the future, absolute future.
And I mean they're looking at him as being the next
He should be.
Keuchel in
And
that rotation for him.
there's no reason why he shouldn't be in this rotation midway through next year. I mean, when you watch the guy pitch, he just looks the part of an ace. And I think that honestly,
his suspension kept him from even getting close to that this year.
but I think that you get him near Verlander as quick as you can, the same way that did with Garrett Cole. I mean, they brought Cole here, and then
I
just
love the Cole
like
trade.
a sponge.
when
Oh
they
yeah,
made that.
absolutely.
It's what they gave up
Absolutely.
for him. They gave him the ginger third baseman.
That was
a
was
pitcher
steal.
who was in.
But to be fair, I did like Colin Moran quite a bit.
do you like him more than Bregman?
No, of course
Well, then
not.
it's-
Of
yeah,
course,
I didn't
no,
like him
actually-
that much.
No, I did. I think they gave up good pieces to get a great pitcher, and I think that it worked out well for both teams. But it's one of those things where when you have a guy like Verlander, you bring up these young cats to see how it's done. This is what makes this guy a first ballot Hall of Famer. The way he goes about his business, the way he does things. And you need to get the young guys up here to see that.
Oh yeah, and I mean that goes for any team.
But
you look
unfortunately,
around-
not a lot of teams have Justin Verlander
No,
on them.
but also, I mean, Justin Verlander's career wasn't where it is now with the Astros. His last couple of years in Detroit. I mean, he had some off years. He was on a
I
team
think
that wasn't
injured.
playing well, and
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
some
yeah,
injuries. But
Detroit was god awful, and it's hard to pitch your best and to stay focused when you're on a crap team.
and I think the
that's-
same could be said for Garrett Cole.
Oh,
Yeah, the Pirates had a
absolutely.
good year, here recently, but
Yeah.
Garrett Cole's the number 1 overall pick. The guy had
Yeah.
all the talent, and he came up
Yeah.
and showed it in the big leagues.
Mhm.
And he kind of started to fall off. He just needed a change of environment. And
Oh, yeah.
he got it in Houston.
Most
and just
definitely.
took off.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree
yeah,
100%.
So
to
no,
that.
Keuchel's probably gone here if I was to guess.
Probably honestly, and I would make a $10 million a year 2-year deal, and just tell them, look, this is what we're going to offer you. Do you want to stay here with a winning culture? Or do you want to go get paid somewhere else?
It's all on if he wants to get that 5-year.
Ooh, anybody who gives them a 5-year
80
deal
million.
is just ignorant, and they deserve what they get.
Somebody will give it to him.
We had another comment come in from Jared, man. He's saying Justin Verlander also sells seats.
Yes,
I mean,
100%.
You can't
He does.
argue. Yeah, you can't argue.
It's
So does his wife.
Anytime you bring in, for sure.
So does his wife.
But yeah,
that's-
anytime you bring in, I mean, they did it when they brought in Randy Johnson. They did it
Yeah.
when they brought in Roger Clemens, and these guys, people want to go show up when they pitch. It's an event when they pitch. It's not
yeah.
a game, It was like that every time Pettit and Clemens pitched. You got people in those games that you didn't get in the other games.
No, and
even when Oswalt pitched, he didn't
Yeah.
get those crowds.
Oswalt was so good.
What? Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's all the
Well,
questions I had.
I think that's going to wrap it up for this first episode of Dynasty Wise Baseball Chat. I'm Chad. You can follow me on Twitter at Dynasty Wise Chad. I do a lot of fantasy football talk and baseball talk on there. I want to say thanks to Spike for coming on and talking baseball.
Thank you for having me.
Always love it when I have knowledgeable baseball people to talk to. Disagree, agree, it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it.
That's a beautiful thing about an opinion, my man. we don't
and-
have to agree.
And win or lose, I'm a diehard Tribe fan. I'm going to
Yeah.
root them on, but I will be sporting Astros gear anytime after that.
Well,
you know,
I
you
hope
can
we
even-
sweep them. I have
right
to be
here,
honest.
I got to make a little.
Oh no, that's bad stuff.
I had
That's
to
bad
do it.
juju right there.
Had to do it
But I think it's going to be a good one.
for sure. So we'll signing off and follow us next week.